my friend. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast.
My gosh, I am so excited to be here.
Just
I just love you so much.
love you too. And I am so excited. I mean, from the minute you announced your little Leroy, um,
Yes.
and you've been teasing this rebrand and this launch of your new products. I'm such a follower and fan of yours that I just feel so lucky that I get to ask you all the inside questions everybody has been dying to know as we've been following your
So
journey.
I'm so happy to share all of the details because listen, I have been working on this for 2.5 years. And now that it's like finally birthed out into the world, I just need everybody to tell me I did a good
Hell yeah.
job and I need to take a nap.
Yes, we need to celebrate the heck out of you today. And yes, you've done such a good job, and I'm so
Thank you.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, how did Happy Happy? So let's start with the beginning. How did Happy
Yes.
Happy Houseplant become what it is? You're such a savvy social person, such a well-known, personality with millions of followers on Instagram. Like, how did you become the plant lady you are today?
Listen, I don't actually know.
Okay, fair.
So before I started Happy Happy Houseplant in January of 2020, I had a DIY renovation blog called
Hmm.
Vintage Revivals. And I got into houseplants through that because part of like a beautifully designed space was having plants in it and life and all of these beautiful things. Mind you, if you are like new to houseplants since COVID, prior to COVID, there was no
Yes.
good information.
Preach.
Like, I think people don't believe me when I say
Yeah.
this, but I started, so I was, doing projects and renovations and all, excuse me, all of that stuff. And I would put plants in my house and I would treat them like decor because
Mhm.
that was the role of plants in our house. It was decor. It was never like a treasured being that you took care of. Like it was
Mhm.
something that you just put in your house and everyone had fiddles and all the fiddles died forever. Like the cycle just would continue. And there were these kind of two very different camps when it came to houseplant care information. There were like regurgitated weird hacks, right? Where everybody was like, oh, you don't need to water your plant, just put ice cubes in it.
Yeah. Just missed it.
Yes, missed it, just missed it. And zero planters, like no one knew what drainage was. We
Yep.
were all just like figuring it
Put
out.
pebbles out.
Totally. And then the other camp was a lot of like the Extension University websites that
Yeah.
had a ton of really, really great scientific information. There were very few people that were able to like bridge this chasm between these two wildly different
Mhm.
experiences. And so that was where I started. I started creating content about houseplants on Vintage Revivals. And I loved it. I loved it so much. I spent all of my free time and time that was not free on these extension websites and on learning so much about plant care and experimenting and doing so many things. And I was like, I think I'm going to write like a guide, like a digital guide to
Mm.
tell people how to care for houseplants. And then I started writing it and I was like, wait, I feel like this is its own thing. And it took off. Like, it took off not just like publicly, it took off like in my soul. It was like my soul was like, yes, finally. She finally made it where she was supposed to be.
Mm.
And so we started just like creating content.
So
Go
that's
ahead.
when Happy Happy Houseplant started. So that's
Yes,
when you separated. Okay.
that's when Happy Happy Houseplant started in January of 2020. And we were still doing vintage revivals. Like we were literally, we started a massive renovation, filming a TV show with Magnolia. Like it was huge. And we started that at the end of 2020. So I was like simultaneously running these two businesses and spending all of my free time researching fertilizers and how to teach people how to care for houseplants. And I loved it so much. And it's actually really fun to look back. Like sometimes I'll go through my old stories on Vintage Revivals and on Happy Happy Houseplant when they were like running at the same time. And on Vintage Revivals, you can tell I am just like exhausted.
Mm,
And on Happy Happy Houseplant, my face is just glowing.
mm.
And it was filmed the same day. It was just like talking about it was so wonderful to my heart. And I love researching things. I love learning about things. I love like all of it. And it was exactly what my soul needed. So
That's
that's how it started.
that's amazing. And how did you get from a little Instagram account called Happy Happy Houseplant to a million followers, ebooks, a huge website, and now like an extremely extensive line of products, of houseplant products? Like, what has been that trajectory for you?
So there is one trajectory that I follow in my life, in everything that I do, and that is called blind enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how things are going to work out. I just move forward all the time. And it's amazing the people that come into your life and the knowledge that you develop that you would never know you needed to know. I'd love to go to a chemical convention. That was the word
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for. So that I could like a big ag convention, like because I can hang
Yeah.
with all of those guys. Whereas like 5 years ago, I was terrified of fertilizer and I
Mm,
didn't want to hurt my plants and I didn't know anything. And it's just really incredible the people that like come into your life and join the team and join the dream and it just grows and grows and grows. It's just so
mm.
fun.
Yeah. So, what does the team look like? Like, how has it expanded?
Oh my gosh. So I am still like the heart and soul of everything.
Hmm.
I have McKenna, who some of the plant people may know. She used to have a plant shop in Riverside before COVID
She
called
was one of
Peep.
she was one of, I think, episode 17 of
My
Growing Joy.
gosh!
Back when we were
Yes,
Bloom and Grow Radio. I've met McKenna in person. I've been to
she's
Peep.
the
I
best.
know her very well. Yes.
Yeah, she's the best. So she is like my right hand. And I do all of the creative things and all the visionary, and I like lead with my heart. And she's like spreadsheets and logic and trying to figure out how to make these things that I want to do
Hmm.
come true. She's the best. And then we have like a whole team that helps us with social and content. And then we have my husband Court, who if you were a Vintage Revivals follower, you like know and love Court, but he runs all of our logistics. So we have three warehouses and 20 employees at the warehouses. Like it's turned into a pretty big operation,
Wow.
which is so wild. And also, like, doesn't really feel real because I'm the same
Hmm.
like I like still just like want to teach people like how to take care of the pothos that they got at Trader Joe's.
Hmm.
So it's just like really fun. So that's like the guiding star with all of it is like how can we make this as easy as
Mm.
possible for people so that they feel like really good about it and confident and so we just do a lot of education.
Where do products come through? So I remember a year or two ago, I was making my houseplant DIY first aid kit, and that's how I learned about fungus gnat death drops. And I remember
Yes,
having a call with you where you were like, they're so good, but also with Bacillus thuringiensis, like there's all of this stuff around like how you can market these
regulatory
products,
stuff. Uh-huh.
regulatory stuff.
Oh, yes, the
And
EPA.
yeah, shout out. I love that product. It's in my
Thank
kit. I
you.
use it all the time.
Thank
So
you.
like how did you get into plant products? I guess what was your
Mhm,
first plant product and
mhm.
how have you developed that suite?
So our first product was plant food, which is our still our best selling fertilizer. I researched fertilizers so intensely, and I kind of I got a little bit manic. I
Mhm.
don't know if that's the right word, but really intense about finding manufacturers that did everything that I had learned about the right way. And It was a little bit of a trial and error, but eventually we found a manufacturer that has kind of taken us on as a little bit of a pet project.
Mm,
Everything else that they do is massive agriculture, golf courses, huge things.
mm,
And they just really like us. And so we do a lot of research based on information that they have already gathered with a lot of their other products that they make. And it's been so interesting and so fun. As the product line was expanding, the thing that I always approach it with is as a plant parent, someone who has hundreds of plants and also running a business, and I have 3 kids, and I have just
mm,
a lot. I'm like really active in my community. Like I have a lot of stuff going on. I always first approach it with my own experience. Like this is something that feels frustrating. How can I make it better? Because I know that I'm not alone in my experience with
mhm.
houseplants.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like where everything starts.
Yeah. No, totally. And I think a lot of your products are that the fungus gnat death drops is like a great example of people like
Yes.
really struggling. How and why did you decide to kind of do this revamp and this new product launch?
Okay, well, listen, it's very much a if you give a mouse a cookie
Hmm.
situation. So we had plant food, we had our neem oil leaf cleanse kit, and then we added death drops. This was in July of 2020, excuse me, July of 2023 when we added death drops to the lineup. And we if you received our death drops up until this point, the bottle looked really different from our other products. The label, like working with the EPA is like I can't even explain to you how intense it is
Mm-hmm.
doing everything right. I thought that we would launch with death drops, like the version of the label that we had. And within like 6 months, we could update it and make it cute and all of this stuff. And it just didn't happen. And so during that time, I was always kind of like, oh, death drops is so not me. And
Mm-hmm.
then we started doing more research for some of our new products that we are adding to the line that we just launched. And I was like, okay, like we're doing these, but they have to look amazing. They can't be this. We with death drops, we chose like this kind of clinical looking
Yeah.
design route, and that's not what my soul wants or is. So like we can't do that. And also the old packaging, I love like changing things up, and like I'm always like inspired by new things. And so I was like, that feels too old and like it needs a refresh. So we're just gonna redo everything because we can't have these new beautiful products and then the weirdness of death drops and then the oldness of plant
Mm.
food and neem. So then we just started redoing everything. And here we
Okay.
are, 2.5 years later. We are here and we have a whole new line, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think that's a struggle that influencers, content creators, brands struggle with is I think it's really hard to explain all of the behind the scenes. I mean, even just with me when I wrote my book, like it took my book 2 years from inception to getting to publication. How do you explain that? Like when you're working behind the scenes on something for 2 years in and out, oftentimes you're not allowed to talk about it yet.
Right.
Oftentimes, you have to kind of time that out. So you hear, yeah, I've been working on this for 2.5 years on
Hmm.
top of all of the daily content, all of the daily plant education, everything else.
Yes.
It's quite the feat.
It is hands down the hardest thing that I've ever done. And I did a renovation and made my own tile and filmed a TV show at the same time, like with 3 kids. I can do really hard things, but this was
Mm,
by far the hardest thing. So we had our initial designs that we sent off for samples, and I got them back and they just like didn't feel right. And I was like, I don't know. This just isn't this just doesn't feel like quite right. Like, could we tweak it a little bit? And then ultimately I was like, no, we have to scrap it all and start over. And that's what we did. Like, I will not put anything out into the world unless it is exactly what I want to say or how I want it to feel. And so the details that have gone into this new line are so intense. It's literally my soul in a box. Like, I don't even know how else to describe it. But we have done so many cool things with the new line, and we personally got to experience so many cool things. Like, we have all of our bottles made. So we went to China and we got to go see the factories that were making our bottles, and we
Wow.
got to help. I It was so amazing. We got to help load up the glass, the little glass Leroy dropper bottles on the conveyor while they were getting ready to paint them. Like, it was amazing going to all of the printers in San Diego and in LA to get our labels and our boxes, everything. Like, I I have traveled the world literally for this product line. It's
Wow.
really fun.
And I hope we get to see more content come out about those travels.
I hope so too. I feel like there's so much there's so many stories to tell that go along with like why I did all of these different things that I did, and I'm so excited for the whole line to be like out into the world so that we can start experiencing it together, cuz right now it's like just, me in my office experiencing it by myself.
Yeah. Can I have an example of like one of those things that like you're so proud of that like represents
Yes.
your heart and soul?
Totally. There's a couple. First, I love merch stuff. Like, if
Hmm.
you've ever ordered from us, there's like postcards and stickers and
Hmm.
tattoos and like all of these just like fun things that make you feel special and important when you open the box. And so I was like, okay, how can I make this like even better? In my office right now, I have, so two of the walls are completely glass, and I'm sitting down on my couch, and in the winter there is a certain time of day that sunlight will come in through the skylights in my office and hit the seam of glass, and it makes a rainbow down
Hmm.
in my living room. And it's so random, it doesn't show up very often, but when it does, it just makes me feel so happy. And so I was sitting there and I was like, okay, like, what kind of fun things could we do? And the rainbow showed up, and I was like, my gosh, can you imagine like bringing rainbows into people's houses? So every single starter kit comes with this little smiley face sun catcher that you can put in your window, and it will cast rainbows into your house so that like people know that I am always cheering them on, like that they're doing a good job with their plants, and I just that somebody cares about them. Like, I genuinely do. And I researched, because this is very strong part of my personality. I researched rainbow suncatcher film like it was going out of style. And it is like the best rainbow suncatcher film. So it's just like stuff like that that I think hopefully will add to people's experience as human, right? Like, I don't want to just like sell stuff. I want to actually impact their life, whether that's like helping their plants thrive or like a little rainbow showing up when they are feeling, like a mom and overwhelmed, and like there's a ton of things going on, and just like somebody's like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I love that. We have to swap sun catchers because my illustrator who did my book, we did sun catchers with the illustrations from my book. So I have to send you one
Yes.
of my sun
Okay.
catchers
Oh
and
my
you'll
gosh,
and
I
you'll
would
send me one of
love
yours.
it.
Yeah,
That
I
would be
love that.
so great.
It's so special though, particularly because it's light and light, our plants love light, right? So
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful little fun little joy explosion. While I have you here, I thought it would be really fun for us to kind of talk about big plant problems that we see in our audience and some easy ways to fix them, right? The common
Yes.
plant problems. I have to ask you, I mean, I would be doing all of us such a disservice if I didn't ask you about the
Oh
Fiddle
my
Leaf
gosh.
Fig. because you are the Fiddle Leaf Fig queen. I don't think I've ever seen someone champion the Fiddle Leaf Fig more than you, between
Thank
your
you.
recitations and your guides and this
Yes.
and that. So let's talk about the Fiddle Leaf Fig for a minute, because I think particularly if you come from the design world, you're going to see
Yes.
in all the magazines a gorgeous Fiddle Leaf Fig in the corner of a home, and it's going to be
Yes.
so big and beautiful, and you're going to get inspired, and you're going to go to the garden center, you're going to spend $250 on a huge tree, bring it home, and then sadly, like, all the leaves fall off. I mean, I can't tell you how many
Yes.
times I've been written about this, you've been written about this. So in your experience, like, what are the biggest reasons why people kill their fiddle leaves?
So I feel like the reason I am such a champion for fiddles is because that is where my heart fell in love with houseplants. Like in the design space, a huge fiddle with like massive leaves that is just so sculptural and beautiful. Like
Mhm.
there is something that just makes me like giddy when I see a really great fiddle. And I killed so many of them. I feel like I am like paying my dues. Like I killed so many of your brothers and sisters, but let me teach
Right.
people how to not kill them moving forward. So for sure the biggest issue that people have with fiddles is light. They don't give them enough light. And I think
Mhm.
like we live in this plant world with like jargon and everyone's like bright indirect light and I'm like, no, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah.
One. Two, like give them the most light that you can,
Of all.
hands down. Like all of my fiddles are in my south facing windows that are 7 feet tall. Like they are getting as much light as I can give them. And that is a huge reason why people struggle so bad because they want it where they want it for
In the dark
decor,
corners.
not where it actually is going to thrive. And there's like other plants, like if you want a big, huge sculptural looking plant, like get a really great Dracaena or like a bird of paradise or something that is not as dramatic as our friend the fiddle.
Yeah. I'll never forget, I was in LA and I went to Mickey Hargitay Plants, which is like an institution
Yes,
in LA. And they have the tallest, I mean, 100 feet tall. Like, it's the tallest fiddle leaf fig in their front. It's a tree. It just looks like a normal tree with roots in the ground. It's fully in the ground. And he pointed it out to me. It's actually a variegated fiddle leaf. And I was like, no way, that's not a fiddle leaf. And he was like, look up. That's a fiddle leaf fig tree, and it's unobstructed, in the light, super tall,
yes,
in no shade. And I
yep,
feel like once I saw that, I was like, okay, this can take a lot more light. And I feel like, too, an easy solution for people who want to I understand wanting to put these beautiful sculptural trees in your corners. That's what grow lights are for. My fiddle leaves, like, are
totally.
so happy under a grow light.
Yep,
So get a beautiful grow light, put it in your corner. Wham,
yep,
bam, thank you, ma'am.
yep, 100%.
So you are also the queen of the chop. What are I mean, if you haven't seen Mandy's reels where she just like hacks her fiddly fig trees up, they're crazy. But what are your recommendations for if someone wants to pinch their fiddle leaf, to whether it's to, instigate new
Yes.
growth, or whether it's, already kind of not doing well and you want to just kind of
Mhm.
insert a reset? What are your tips there?
So I am getting a lot stronger and maybe bolder
Hmm.
about these recommendations because I I feel like, do you follow Just Being Melanie, who has the We Do Not Care Club
Yes.
for perimenopause and men? Okay,
Yes.
she, I love everything that she
Mm-hmm.
shares, but I feel like I'm kind of in that space with plant care. Like, listen, you want your fiddle to branch, cutting the tip of it or pinching off like the growth point, you might get, if you are lucky, two branches, but it isn't going to look the way that you think it's going to look. And most of the time, when people just like trim their fiddles, it just branches one time. So, like, what the hell's the point? You
Mm-hmm.
already had that, and now you just have it with like a weird notch. Like, you got to do it better. So, I feel like, especially like this summer, I was like, okay, like, we are not messing around anymore. If you want your fiddle to branch, like, really, really branch, if you want your stick to look like a lollipop,
Mm-hmm.
you have to cut all of the leaves off. You have to cut it to nothing. And you have to move it outside and you have to just let it exist and get a chance to start branching.
And when it branches out, are you then pinching those branches to trigger more growth, or is it just one big hack and then you're letting it grow out?
That's a great question. So I feel like what I have been doing with mine is I do a big chop and then I let them branch and grow. And then the following summer, I will cut it again so that I have more branches. Because, like, if you start with one, right, and you cut it, and let's say you get 4 branches, that's so great. But the next year, if you cut those 4 branches, then you get 3 more branches on each of those 4. Like, that's how you build a
Right.
full tree. But it's not going to happen in like one chop session because we are keeping these trees in our houses. Like, they're not meant to be inside.
Yeah.
Like, we've all
Case in point
experienced,
with that tree at Mickey Hargitay Plants. Like
yes,
they're supposed to be like blasted in full sun, like living
100%,
their best life. Yeah.
like living their best tropical life in Fiji. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a different environment. So we have to like do the best that we can to give them the best chance. And so I am a huge, huge fan of when it is summer, not the beginning of summer, when it is like hot outside, like the end of May.
Hmm.
That's when I chop and move them outside and they thrive. Like, they're doing so, so great. One of my best friends, her name is Susie. She is like the barbecue queen of the world. It's Hey Girl Hey, if anybody needs some barbecue. But she has a fiddle that looks like everybody else's. You know, you spend $300 on this tree, you put it in your corner, and it drops the leaves, and the trunk stays broomstick width,
Hmm.
and it loses all of the leaves, and then you start using plant food, so then you have like 10 leaves on the very tips
Hmm.
and nothing, and it's like so spindly and leggy and just doesn't look great. Like, Taylor Swift has a fiddle that looks like that. Like, everybody has fiddles that look like that. The only way to fix it is to chop them. It's not going to correct itself. You have to do like some pretty intense stuff. Sorry, I'm being so aggressive about this. I just
I
have
love it.
really strong feelings about it, I guess.
I think it's so great. What about leaf cleaning,
My gosh.
fertilizing? What do you recommend with that?
So, for the chop, you mean, or just general maintenance?
General maintenance.
Okay, so absolutely using a fertilizer will make a massive, massive difference. So, obviously, plant food is our fertilizer. That is my number one favorite fertilizer ever. Before you make the chop, I recommend double dosing plant food for 3 waterings, and then you make the chop, and then you're good. Using a fertilizer that you use every single time you water your plants is so helpful for the plant because it's like a constant stream of nutrients. And also, it's like so helpful for us as humans. Like, we have a lot of stuff going on. Like, I can't keep a log of the last time I
Yeah.
fertilized my plant, or like you pull it out from like under your sink and you're like, okay,
Hmm.
let's see what, you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
that doesn't fit into my lifestyle at all. It needs to be so much easier than that.
Consistent. Yeah.
Totally. And then cleaning the leaves, I literally have dirt walls. Like, in our house, we live in an adobe warehouse. And so, like, I can rub the walls and dirt will come off. I have more dust in my house than anybody else on the
Mm.
planet. And I will tell you, when I take the time to clean all of the leaves on my plants, the growth that I see is like awe-inspiring every single time. Because I'm like, you just don't think about it. Like, you just like live in your life and you have everybody has so much going on. But like, when I take the time to like clean the leaves, it is a massive transformation that happens.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you like checked in on a plant and you realize you could like write your name in the dust that's accumulated on the leaf? It's so bad.
I can't even tell you how many times we're like leaving the house and I like take my shirt over my hands and I like
Hmm.
dust the leaves and then I ruin my shirt. And like, it's just all the time. It's all the time.
Part of being a plant mom, dirt under the
It is.
fingernails and plant dust on your
Yeah.
shirts
On your
at
hoodie.
all times. At all times, and potting mix on your floor, no matter what, and in your drain.
100%.
I love it. Okay, let's talk about the gap of death because that's another thing that you
Yes.
talk a lot about. And I'm really excited about this new product that you've launched that I want to learn more about. Because,
I'm
with
so excited to talk about it.
yeah, so gap of death is hydrophobic soil. It's
Yes.
when that plant soil has kind of slurped in on itself. I know, normally when I see gap of death, I'm a serial underwater. I dance with tango with the gap of death often.
Yes.
For me, usually it's like a bottom water or it's
Hmm.
that dishwater, dish soap and water solution that
Hmm.
helps. Tell me about your new drench product and why you created
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So this product is called Hydration Renew, and
Hmm.
it is a surfactant. So what it does is it changes the tension of the water molecules. So when soil becomes hydrophobic, like the word hydrophobic actually is in its
Scared of
name, like
water.
it's scared of the water.
Scared
It
of the
doesn't want
water.
anything to do with the water. So the gap of death term came about because when that happens, you water your plant, and what happens? It immediately runs off the top, down the sides, out the bottom. So, like, if you're a newer plant parent, you think that you're doing it right. You think that you're saturating the soil enough that it's running out of the drainage hole. And you have no idea that the soil is actually repelling the water and it's not soaking in at all.
Hmm.
And so that's something that like we've talked about so much, like the gap of death and how to fix it. So what Hydration Renew does is it adds a surfactant to the water, which changes the way that the water and the hydrophobic soil interact with each other. Instead of fighting each other, it makes them like enemies to lovers story arc.
Hmm.
And then when you water your plant with it, it makes it so that it sucks down into the center of your root ball and it helps everything just stay hydrated for longer. Like the gap of death, once soil becomes hydrophobic, it is chronic. Like it doesn't go away. The issue with the soil doesn't change, but using a surfactant like Hydration Renew can change the way that the soil interacts with water. And it's the best. I created it because we hear so often like you have to repot your plants like every year, and I have a lot of plants, and repotting my plants every year is quite the undertaking. And I have really big plants, and I'm
Hmm.
not going to repot my car dealership rubber tree every year. I need
Hmm.
that soil to last forever because it takes four people to even move it. Like it's not going anywhere. And so I needed to figure out a way that I didn't have to worry about the condition of the soil and I could make it so that it worked with what my plant wanted. And especially with like fiddles, like I live in healthy fear of the fiddles in my house. Like I know that I am not the boss. I know that they're the boss, but repotting a fiddle is so stressful because they absolutely have transplant shock and they will
Hmm.
drop their leaves and you'll be like, why did I even do that? That's so frustrating. So using hydration renew, and then we have another kind of sister product called soil refresh that is a cellulase enzymatic formula that goes in and like cleans up a lot of the like Monica closet of your
Hmm.
planter and just like cleans stuff out and converts it into food for your plant. Like it just keeps the soil so it's like healthy, fresh, new soil without having to do a repot.
Yeah. I think too, the issue with that gap of death is sometimes there are pockets of the soil. Most, 75% of it will get rehydrated with the bottom water or with whatever you're going to do. But then there's going to be that like little pack of dry, crispy soil that
Yes.
doesn't get rehydrated. And then
Yep.
that's what becomes the issue. So I think that's really cool. Is it supposed to be something that you put in your watering can every time you water, or it's a product you keep in your house plant first aid kit for
Mhm.
when you see the gap of death and you need to address it?
So it can be either. I use it every time I water because I don't repot very often. And so I know when I'm using it, like all of my soil is being completely hydrated, which just affects everything else, right? Like plant food is so great, but it's only so great if the roots can absorb it. Like
Mm,
it's not helpful if it just like runs off the
Yeah.
top and out the side. So a lot of the stuff, having really well hydrated, healthy soil is like a really, really big deal. So using it, I use it every time I water. If you just barely did a repot, the soil that you repotted with has a surfactant in it. And that's what kind of wears off over time, which is why soil becomes kind of dry and dusty and breaks down and all of that stuff. So you're just kind of replenishing what it originally had.
Yeah, I love that. I'm thinking about my green wall for that because I my green wall's a year old, and I went through a couple of months where I was really underwatering, just a little depressive episode where I wasn't paying
Yeah, it
attention to my
happens to
plants as
all
much.
of us.
I've noticed that they're not hydrophobic, but they're definitely not, the soil definitely isn't where it used to be. So I wonder if I
Yes.
should use it as a little refresh for my green wall just to like get the juices flowing again,
I
get it
think
back
that
to
would
where
be
it needs.
great.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just like we all know, like I think that it's so easy to relate stuff to skincare because so many of us also care about our skin. But when things are dry and they're dried out, like you have to use something that reintroduces the moisture. Like you
Hmm.
have to use a moisturizer. You
Yeah.
have to like you just
Got to
have
do
to.
the overnight mask that
I
turns
know.
see-through
Yes.
when you put it on your face. I know it.
Listen,
The
I
Medicure.
feel like I feel like people, this is a little bit of a tangent, but like I feel like people just always do that when they're like flying first class. Is
I
that
know.
just the
What is
ads that
that?
I've served? Like I never see anybody in regular flights doing that. I don't
I
know.
know. It's so funny. What is up with that, with the skincare on the flight? I love that. It's like they're bored. They have nothing better to do.
Yeah, I love it. It's great content.
Yes. Okay. Also, fungus gnats, because I feel like when we're
Yes.
thinking about like when I think about the top three things I get written about,
Mhm.
fungus gnats is definitely when I get texts from random people in my peripheral life, like my in-laws or my friend's friend who like
Yes.
got my phone number because they have fungus gnats.
Nothing will make you more ragey in your soul
Yeah.
than a fungus gnat that like flies into your nose.
Yeah, your nose or your ear, or that it just
Oh
keeps
my
flying around
gosh.
your head and you
Yes.
can't get it. So why do they
Yes.
show up?
Okay, listen. I thought that I had it all figured out. So they always come in with like a repot, fresh soil, a new plant. Like in the summer when we have our doors open and our windows open, they come
Mhm.
in that way. So this is kind of a funny story. So one of our new products, Killer Smiles, they are sticky, yellow sticky traps for your fungus gnats. I never have fungus gnats. I just don't have them because I am a chronic underwaterer. I live in the desert.
Right.
All of the conditions are in my favor for me to not really have to deal with fungus gnats. So
Yeah.
I water with death drops, like not every single time I water, maybe like every 3 times. Like I just kind of stay on top of it. So I posted in like our Facebook houseplant group for Southern Utah, and I was like, hey, I need fungus gnats on these sticky traps so I can take pictures of them. Does anybody have fungus gnats? I will bring them over to your house. Like, please let me have some of your fungus gnats.
I love that.
So I bring them home, I shoot them, it's so great. Out of nowhere, a plant that is in my bedroom growing under a grow light. It is completely isolated from everything. As the worst fungus gnat
Mhm.
infestation that I have ever seen before. So I am convinced fungus gnats are karma
Fungus gnats are karma.
because I was like being a little like, I don't have fungus gnats. Like,
Yeah,
let me have some of
everything's so
yours.
easy. Well, they probably came in on your shirt too. Like that's the other thing that I didn't like they come in on your clothes from
Yeah.
outside and you
Or
have no
like your
idea.
fruit.
Yeah.
Yes. It's wild. So I am currently battling a biblical level fungus gnat infestation on a Ficus triangularis, and I'm like documenting the whole thing, and it's so funny. And I'm like, this is because I was feeling a little like
Yeah. You got
I don't
too
have
big
fungus
for your
gnats.
britches. So how are you treating it?
Yes.
How what do you recommend?
So Death Drops works to treat the larva stage of the fungus gnat. So there's 4 stages of a fungus gnat life cycle: the egg, larva, pupa, adult. And Death Drops treats the larva so that they cannot mature into the pupa stage. Killer Smiles is our new product that catches the adults. So we're kind of battling it in two different
Yeah.
places of their life cycle. Because if you can catch the adults, then they don't lay eggs that turn into larvae. If we can catch the larvae before they turn into the pupa, like it's just
Yeah, you got to
it's
hit it on
it's
both ends.
you got to hit
What
it.
are let's talk about what death drops are though. So
Mhm.
Bacillus thuringiensis. What is
Yes.
that?
It is a natural bacterium that is used to treat fungus gnats, mosquitoes, different flying creatures, and it makes it so that they die when they're in the larva stage.
Okay, got it. It's something you put in your water.
Yes.
What about cinnamon? Does cinnamon work?
So, the interesting thing about cinnamon in my research, there is a specific type of cinnamon that
Okay.
can help, but it's not the cinnamon that you're getting at the grocery store. It's like a very rare, like it's
Right.
not it, guys. I'm so sorry. I wish
Yeah,
it was that easy.
I
Like
know.
I
I feel like
do
you see people doing all sorts of kooky stuff,
so many
like the
things.
cinnamon stuff, and then it's really just the plant. Like then you're just your fungus gnats are just multiplying while you're
Mhm.
not killing them. And
Well,
so,
and I think too there's other like unintended consequences of using different products. So like a lot of people will recommend diatomaceous earth
mhm,
for treating your fungus gnats, like putting it on the surface of your soil. But diatomaceous earth actually like gets really, really hard, like concrete hard. So you're putting this in your soil and then your soil gets compacted and it just like adds to that
mm,
and it doesn't treat it the way that something like a sticky trap would
mhm.
treat the adults. So there's just like different things like you just I mean, listen, you try whatever you want to try. But when you're sick of trying all of those things,
Right.
using
The right
death
stuff.
drops
Yeah.
and catching the adults is the best way to treat fungus gnats.
Yeah, totally. And once again, Death Drops is how I came to your brand when I was putting this first aid kit together. And I think
Hmm.
it's important to be prepared for when something shows up, you can treat it really quickly and also
For
to be
sure.
treating it with the right thing. Because as I've investigated pest control across all of them, fungus gnats, thrips, mites, like there are systemic pesticides that don't work for certain mites that do work
Yes.
for other mites, or you have to be able to identify the pests that you have in order to treat
Yes.
it correctly, or you end up treating for the wrong pest. The pest
Hmm.
keeps multiplying, and then the situation gets worse and worse. And then you end up just having to throw the plants away because, and it's just like a little bit of research, a little bit of preparedness that can save you so much heartbreak and so much money in lost
100%.
investment.
A
Yeah.
hundred percent.
I'm going down the beneficial insect spiral.
Yes. Okay. And how is that going?
So great. I'm doing it for my green wall because I just want preventative. So I had
Hmm.
these really cool DMV beneficials. They're an episode that's coming out soon too. They came over and they helped and they taught me and like helped me release all these beneficial insects in
So
here.
fun.
It was so cool.
Yes.
So cool and so fun. But it's good. It's good to have a lot of different things in your toolkit.
Totally.
So, before we close, I want to get to know you a little bit more because you probably have some followers that are listening to hear like behind the scenes.
Oh my gosh, I love behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes and also just like Mandi. So, you mentioned like, do you have hobbies that are outside of plants?
I do.
What
So
are they?
I can tell you with a surety that the next version of my personality is going to be a flower lady. Planted just like a random wild patch in my yard that was just
Hmm.
like dirt. I put a bunch of wildflower seeds in there, and I go out every single morning, and they bring me so
Yeah.
much joy. So I do that. I really love baking.
Hmm.
I don't do it as often as I want to, but I love baking, and I love traveling. Traveling is just it's just where my heart is.
You did like a lot of cool international travel, I feel like too, from what I saw on
I
your
did.
Instagram stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends is like she's like a candy lady.
Hmm.
And so we were talking about how there is just so much Swedish candy and it's just not available in the States. And she was like, I think I need to like go and like go to Sweden and like source this candy. And I was like, I
I'll
mean,
come.
do you want to go to Sweden? Like, I'll totally come. That is my homeland. That's the land of my ancestors.
Right.
Let's go. And it was amazing. It was so fun. So, yes, we've done that. I love a good tropical, anything that's like hot and humid
Hmm.
is when my soul is like, okay, this is it. You're home.
You're a houseplant.
I am a
Now
host plant.
you mentioned candy. When we weren't recording, you gave me a little inside scoop on something that's coming out.
Yes.
Will you let us know? Because I am
I
dying
will.
over this.
Yes. So one of our best friends has a candy company called the Taffy Shop. They do saltwater taffy and all of the funnest flavors, and like the packaging is so great, and they're just the best. So we've always talked about like, oh my gosh, it would be so fun to do like a Happy Happy Houseplant taffy mix or something like that. Thinking like it would just be green or I don't know. But then I was like really thinking about what could we do? And most people don't know this, but Monstera deliciosa, the house plant that we all know and love, actually in the wild produces fruit. And the reason that it's called the Monstera deliciosa is because the fruit is so delicious. It
Hmm.
is like this tropical mix of like pineapple and banana and passion fruit and strawberry, and it's all in one fruit. So, one, people don't know it exists. Two, it is so rare and so expensive if you can even find it. And so we have Monstera Deliciosa fruit flavored taffy coming
Genius.
out.
I'm obsessed. I cannot wait to taste it.
It is so good. Like the research that has gone into hitting all of the flavor notes, and it is so good. I'm so excited for everybody to taste it.
That's amazing. I'm obsessed. And the branding once again. With the branding of your company, is it you? Do you have the eye for the visual of your company? It's so beautiful.
Thank you. I we have a graphic design agency that we hired that did a lot of our logos and kind of layout of the products, but I have done so much of it. Like all of the colorways, those are all mine. Layout, like the website, I have learned to be a little bit of a developer, fixing things and
Hmm.
changing things and taking. I feel like everybody gives me like this and I'm like, okay, but I need to like make it better.
Right.
So everything is always like zhuzhed up to an unrecognizable state by the time I'm done
Hmm.
with it, which makes me probably not the funnest client, but like that's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's fine.
You get what you want. You know what you want
Yeah, I know what
and you
I
ask for
want.
it.
I
Yeah.
know how I want it to feel. And sometimes it's just easier to do it yourself,
Hmm.
you know?
What's been like the biggest surprise in your plant lady journey, entrepreneurial journey? What's been the biggest surprise you've experienced?
Gosh, that's a great question. I would say probably the biggest surprise for most people is for me the satisfaction that comes from just connecting with
Mm.
our customers and our followers. Like I'm always looking for different fun ways to connect with everybody. Probably by the time this episode comes out we'll have these, but there's something like in my art that's just like craving analog real
Mm.
connections.
Hmm.
And I always do question boxes in on Instagram and stories, but we came up with this little Dear Mandy postcard that is going to go in every order as soon as we get them from the printer. And it's just like people can leave a houseplant question, they can share a hack or feedback or some hot gossip, and it is like business reply. So all they have to do is drop it in the mail. So we're going to be doing like really fun mailbag series content because like
That's
I
genius.
it's just what my heart wants. Like,
Mm.
I want to be with my people. And even though there's a ton of them and we are spread across the whole world, any chance that I get to just be with them,
Mm.
man, that's just what my heart just wants it. And so, like, everybody else can care about all of the other
Yeah.
business logistics and financials and like
Hmm.
algorithms and I just want connection.
Yeah, you're like, I just want to design some postcards. Who do you look up to in the space? Who do you follow? Who are your joyful
My
follows in our
gosh,
space?
there are so many. Like,
Mm,
I think that the plant space is uniquely special because people in the plant space are naturally geared more towards nurture and caring for things outside of themselves, right?
absolutely.
And so I think that it fosters a really beautiful community where that's just how people are. You know what I mean? Like I just love
Yeah,
it. But
plant people are
I
kind
for
people.
sure have, like, I love Dana from Fancy Plant.
Mm-hmm.
She is so cute.
Yeah.
Every time I see her stuff, I'm like, she's just so, I just love her. I love her
Uh-huh.
so much. There's like a handful of small plant shops that
Mm.
I am so inspired by, and I love them so much. Um, I've made so many great friends just with other plant people. It just feels so great. Like there's so many great ones in Utah, like Mariah's in Utah and Chantel from Channy Gray. She's from Arizona, but I hosted an event, a book signing for Hilton Carter at my house, and a whole bunch of plant people came, and I
So
just
fun.
loved it so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's just so many good people.
I went with Chantel to the the Phoenix Botanical Garden.
Yes.
She's
She is,
amazing.
she's so great.
Yeah,
She's
she's
so
so fun.
great. There's just so many awesome people. Like I love plant people.
Yeah.
They're the best kind. They're the best kind of people.
They're the best kind of people. Do you have like a customer story that's near and dear to your heart?
Oh my
I'm sure
gosh.
you have many, but does
The
anyone?
first thing that came to my mind when you said that, there are so many. But
Mhm.
a few years ago, we did a really fun product that was called the Surprise Plant Society, where Plant Proper would grow hundreds of like one specific type of plant. And then I would write guides for it and do like all of the fun little like merchy
Mhm.
things. And people would buy it not knowing what plant they were getting. And everybody got the same plant.
Mhm.
And then we would have like Zoom hangouts and we would talk about our plant.
So,
And there was, I can't remember his name, Mike, maybe, this just like cute old guy that was part of the Surprise Plant Society. And he like joined all the meetings and he was so cute. And so I would say that that probably is like the most memorable. But there are, I just think our customers are like the best people. Like, I love going through and reading reviews and just laughing at how funny people are. I don't know. There's just so many good people.
yeah, there really are. I mean, it's a special type of person who takes their, expendable income, their extra time, their love and spends it on something that can't communicate with them. A dog
Yeah,
would be much easier, right? Like a dog or a cat
totally.
or something like that. Yeah, they're so special. And you're so special. And I am so proud of you. And I congratulate you on this new launch. So, where can everyone see, obviously Fungus Gnat Death Drops, one of my
Yes.
faves, but you make so many great products. Where
Thank
can
you.
everyone come grab them from you?
On happyhappyhouseplant.com, obviously our website. And then there's lots of small plant shops throughout the country that sell our products also. So I always recommend finding out if your favorite plant shop carries it and visiting them in person if you get the chance.
Amazing. I love that. And I'm an affiliate of yours, so Growing Joy with Maria, I think gets you 15%
I
off
think so.
if you want something. So go shop. Go for a little shop. Well, congrats, friend. Can't
Thanks,
wait
Maria.
for everything. I cannot wait to taste that Monstera Deliciosa candy. I'm so
I
excited.
know. I'll send you a bag right now.
I'm so excited.